Did you know that before you were born, you might have chosen many of the experiences you would go through in this life? It sounds surreal, but this is a spiritual reality for only a few souls before reincarnating. But are you one of them? That's what we're going to find out, and much more. Today, we're also going to talk about how you may have chosen your family, friends, and key events in your life for your own spiritual evolution. Additionally, you'll discover whether we can change what we chose before being born, why we forget everything when we reincarnate, how the law of karma influences this process, and much more. Remember, you're not just a spectator here. You are the protagonist in transforming your life and the lives of others. So comment now. Thank you, universe, because this video didn't reach you by accident. Watch until the end, because this video will change the way you see your entire life. Now, let's get straight to the point. Before we were born, we lived in a spiritual plane, a vibrational environment where our soul prepared for a new journey. That's why no one reincarnates just moments after dying. Some spirits may remain in the spiritual realm for long periods, while others feel the need to return years later. However, it's important to understand that there's also a long line of souls waiting for the right moment and ideal circumstances to reincarnate. This invisible world is our true home, where we experience a state of greater clarity, understanding, and connection with other souls. But then, why do we choose to leave this state of fulfillment to face the challenges of earthly life? That's what you're about to find out. But before we get into that, it's crucial to understand that reincarnation doesn't happen randomly. Each soul returns to the physical world with a specific purpose, and for this experience to be truly authentic, there is an essential mechanism in place: temporary forgetting. Imagine if we remembered all our past lives, the mistakes we made, and the pain we endured. The weight of these memories could prevent us from moving forward. The veil of forgetfulness is not a punishment, but a powerful tool that allows us to start fresh, learn from new experiences, and develop our virtues without the emotional burdens of the past. The fact that you temporarily forget your past lives does not mean that your soul has forgotten everything it has learned, whether it be knowledge or, most importantly, spiritual values. In other words, while your mind forgets, your soul remembers, and this vague intuitive memory influences whether your soul will have good or bad tendencies. So someone who has truly internalized the spiritual value of not stealing will have a strong tendency not to commit such an act. On the other hand, a person who has not yet acquired the spiritual value may be more inclined to make that mistake. However, this does not mean they will inevitably do so, as their new life will provide opportunities for them to learn and acquire that spiritual value through earthly lessons and challenges. Just as a student needs to step out of their comfort zone to truly learn, the soul needs to go through challenges in order to grow. Forgetting does not completely disconnect us from the spiritual world. Signs, intuitions, and even dreams remind us of our true essence. And maybe, without realizing it, you've already received these signs throughout your life. Have you ever felt like someone was protecting or guiding you? Let us know in the comments if you've ever experienced that, okay? We'll talk more about this later in the video, so stay with us. Subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, or simply leave a like. This will help this content reach more people, just like it reached you. But I know you're probably asking yourself, why are some people born into favorable circumstances while others face challenges from their very first breath? And why would anyone voluntarily choose to go through hardship? To answer these questions, we need to understand that our existence is not just a game of random chance, and these choices are not made alone. Wise spiritual beings guide us through this decision, our spiritual mentors. With their guidance, we review our past lives and analyze the lessons we still need to learn. If we failed to develop patience, we might choose a life that challenges us in that regard. If we harmed someone, we may want to meet them again to make amends. The reincarnation plan is not a punishment. It's an exercise in awareness and the application of divine justice and the law of cause and effect. Even though we have free will, not all souls have the ability to choose every aspect of their new life. Imagine a politician who stole millions from healthcare, lived in luxury at the expense of others' lives, and caused suffering to countless people. What will be his fate in the next reincarnation? Most likely, he will have to go through painful experiences in his next life due to his actions, perhaps in a place with no access to basic health care. But would he willingly choose to live through these hardships? Most likely not. In such cases, divine justice determines what experiences will be necessary to ensure that he never repeats those mistakes again, and so that he can redeem himself. This is what we call karmic retribution. Free will allows us to decide what kind of experiences we want to go through in order to evolve, and this includes everything from family challenges to opportunities for professional and spiritual growth, but only when the spirit is prepared to make such decisions. Therefore, not all the difficulties in our lives were chosen by us. Some were determined by higher beings who know what is best for our growth. At the same time, some situations are planned before reincarnation, while others arise due to our own use of free will during our lifetime. We can alter our destiny through new decisions, both for good and for bad. That's why, even if we made choices before birth, our journey is never completely predetermined. Certain moments in your life may seem preordained, while others may not be. If anything in this video resonates with you, share it with your friends or spiritual groups that could benefit from these reflections. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep up with future content. The path of spiritual evolution is ongoing, and we're here to walk it together. The role of karma and past lives in our choices. Returning to our topic, what we experience today is not an unchangeable sentence, but rather the reflection of unfinished lessons. Karma, far from being a punishment, is simply the natural consequence of our actions, offering us the opportunity to correct mistakes and strengthen our virtues. When planning a new life, the soul reviews its successes and failures, understanding that some experiences need to be repeated in order to fully learn from them. If, in a past life, someone misused their power, they might return under circumstances that challenge them to be more humble. If they caused suffering to another person, they may cross paths with them again in order to restore balance to that relationship. These coincidences in life are often karmic reunions, opportunities for transformation that only make sense when we look beyond our current existence. Karma also pushes us to develop talents and fulfill greater purposes as a form of redemption. Many skills we have today were cultivated over multiple lifetimes, so someone who caused great harm to many people in the past may now have to do good for many people using their talents and abilities to bring healing and balance to the world. Within our families, we also see cases like this. You know that one relative who seems to have a special connection with you, or that family member with whom you constantly clash despite your best efforts. These dynamics are not random. They are often karmic ties, relationships that have been carried over from past lives for resolution or growth. A soul that has wronged another in a previous incarnation may reincarnate in the same family to repair that bond. A parent and child who share an unexplainable closeness may have been siblings, best friends, or even lovers in another life. Similarly, conflicts between siblings, parents, or other relatives may stem from unresolved issues that need to be healed in this lifetime. That's why some people feel an instant sense of familiarity or even tension with certain family members. The soul remembers, even if the conscious mind does not. However, it's important to understand that while past life connections influence these relationships, we still have the power to choose how we act in the present. Instead of repeating old cycles of resentment, we can choose forgiveness, understanding, and love. This is how we break negative karmic cycles and evolve spiritually. The truth is that although many aspects of our lives are planned, nothing is completely set in stone. The choices we make in the present can alter the course of our journey. But does that mean we can change everything? Not always. Some experiences are fundamental for our evolution and tend to repeat in different forms until they are fully understood. Others, however, are immutable, and a person will carry them throughout their lifetime, such as a congenital illness or a disability. I know this may sound harsh, but we must remember that every spirit has an entire history of past lives, and in many cases, they may have committed harmful actions against others, leading them to be born into such circumstances. Even so, we should not see illness as a punishment in the strictest sense. Instead, we must view it as a learning experience. For example, a person who has suffered from a degenerative disease since childhood, losing mobility over time, will experience the absence of a normal social life and relationships. However, this may be necessary for their soul's growth. Perhaps in past lives, they failed to value these aspects of life or even harmed the social connections and relationships of others. It's also important to understand that although someone may endure an entire lifetime under such conditions, what is one lifetime compared to the eternity of the spirit? From a broader perspective, a single life is just a small fraction of the existence of an eternal being. Do you want to learn more about this? I'll leave a pinned comment with free book recommendations to help you deepen your understanding of this topic, okay? But we still haven't answered the main question of this video, right? What kind of spirit truly has the greatest freedom to choose their life? The answer is simple. Those souls who do not incarnate solely for their own evolution, but to fulfill missions that impact many lives. More awakened spirits, driven by a greater purpose, choose significant circumstances and challenges to assist humanity. These beings may work through science, spirituality, the arts, or any field that promotes transformation. But this path is not easy. Generally, the greater the mission, the greater the obstacles. Many of these spirits take on lives of sacrifice and service, fully aware that they will face misunderstanding and resistance. Great spiritual leaders, innovators, and humanitarians are examples of this. However, not every mission needs to be grand in the eyes of the world. Sometimes helping just one person awaken is already an immense contribution. Each soul has a role to play, and many fulfill it silently without recognition. These are the souls that truly have greater freedom in choosing the aspects of their lives. And what about you? Are you one of them? What if you had a greater mission than you ever imagined? Many people feel an internal calling that they can't quite explain, a deep urge to change the world, to help others, to seek a higher purpose. This could be a sign that your soul volunteered for something beyond personal growth, something that will impact many lives and that perhaps has just begun with this video. Has this calling echoed within you after watching this? Think about it. Peace profound.